as we just spoke about the form this season, that sort of emphasises that. However, I like the way Pats are quite the kind of structure John Daly has put on them, made themselves difficult to beat, and I just think that might just be the edge. I favour Bohs a little bit with the loss of Keith Buckley. I think it's a huge figure for them, but very, very little between both sides.
Okay, well, almost ready to go here at the Aviva. The teams will be arriving out on this pristine surface to play the 2023 Sports Direct FAI Cup final. So, without further ado, let's join our big match commentary team today, Des Kern and Graham Gartland.
Yeah, thank you, Peter. Good afternoon, everyone. What an occasion ahead of us here at the Aviva Stadium today. A cup final that has really seized the attention. We had 20,000 tickets sold in the first 5 hours, and as the weeks went on, we were wondering, could we get a record crowd today? As Wednesday, Thursday, Friday of this week came along, we were wondering, could we get a sellout today? And it looks like we will have 48,000 in here today. A record attendance for a cup final. Magnificent for these two sets of players, but for the domestic game as a whole as well, Graham.
Yeah, it's absolutely brilliant. It's everything that people who are involved in the league really want, and it's a credit to these two football clubs who have really engaged in their communities. Both of them engaged in Inchicore, in the north side, in certain areas. Bohs have gone on and really done a lot of community work in both these areas, and the reward is that they get a sellout stadium here. I think it's attracted a lot of neutral fans as well. Everybody knows it's a showpiece game of the season. Everybody's here is looking forward to it, but it's a massive, massive day for both these players and teams, and it's great that they have a full house in a brilliant stadium here to perform in.
Well, the atmosphere is incredible. On the way into the ground earlier today, the fans were already queuing up, getting ready to come in here. And for Bohs and St. Pat's, well, the time is now. It's the culmination of a season where both of them might have had, at various points, harboured hopes of landing the league title. But now this opportunity to finish the campaign with a real flourish. Just a second FAI Cup final meeting of these two big Dublin rivals. But of course, it is a second in 3 years. That 2021 decider went all the way to that dramatic penalty shootout. Robbie Benson, the hero, as Pats lifted the cup for the first time since 2014 and left Bohs waiting to add to their last cup success in 2008. It's not taken either club long to get back to this point, but the question is, will we have a similar or a different outcome today? Graham, you went back to back to back. Longford, Drogheda. You were talking to Alan Matthews down there on the pitch earlier, and a lot of the Longford team are here today. What are your memories? How big an occasion was it when you look back on your career as a whole, those cup finals? And what about these final nervous moments as you're waiting for the kick-off?
They were some of the best moments of my career, and again, I touched on it with Tony. Lucky enough to play in some great, fantastic sides. Privileged to play with them, privileged to call them teammates. Alan Matthews will play a big part in St. Pat's and how he prepares for the game. The ticket situation, get that out of the way early, get the suits out of the way early, no distractions, focus on the game, make sure you perform, and that's what it's about then. All you concentrating on now is making sure that you perform and impact the game and making sure that you come out with the victory. You do whatever it takes to win this game. When the silverware on offer, you do whatever it takes to win the game.
And it's different. It's funny, different players will have different ways of going about this. Some might be looking into the crowd, looking for their family. Some will be, I'd imagine, a steely focus on first touch, first tackle, first header, first pass.
Yeah, it's what suits the individual. Again, the Longford side, we were a little bit ragged and we were rough and ready at times. We came out a little bit riled up for the game. Paul Doolin had us really different at Drogheda. Go out with a calmness, because we're going to be performing in these big games more often than not. So make sure you get used to it, and that's what we done. We were quite relaxed going out into that cup final, knowing that again you're here to perform. Wave at your family, but then just be focused on the game in front of you.
Well, what a backdrop, what a scene, what an occasion. And now we're on the field. What a noise ringing around the Aviva Stadium, a stadium where Bohs made themselves a home away from home in that brilliant European run in 2021, beating Starnan, Dudelange and Pauk, but then came up agonisingly short in the cup final. Pats could win this cup this season without playing a single game in Inchicore. Well, let's bring you the team news. Declan Devine without his injured captain Keith Buckley, as well as the suspended Kaspar Radkowski. So the news that Christian Novak and 2020 FAI Cup winner Jordan Flores are fit to start is more than significant, both having limped off in the final league win against Cork City. Flores starts at left back, Paddy Kirk is on the bench. Novak will start alongside Cian Byrne, the 20-year-old impressed in the first half of the season on loan at Longford and now starts the cup final. James Clark, one that could revel in this stadium and on this stage. John Afolabi, one shy of a 20-goal season. Well, as well as it being a huge day for the players, huge day for the team of match officials as well, led by Paul McLaughlin, his second FAI Cup final after taking charge in 2017 when Cork City beat Dundalk on penalties. Also took charge of Pats 3-2 at Dalymount in April. Final rallying cry for St. Pat's as they go into their pre-game huddle. And there you go, whoever's in charge of the truck has driven it beautifully. I'd imagine the most nervous person in the ground today.
You've done well.
Match ball delivered. Well, we've seen the Bohs 11. John Daly goes with 10 of the Pats 11 that start at the end of October, win at Dalymount Park. The change sees Jake Mulroney in for Jamie, who you've heard was amongst the Pats fans here 2 years ago. The sought-after 17-year-old Sam Curtis could be playing his last game in Pats colours. Jamie Lennon has had a big season in that number 6 role. Chris Forrester, Lennon and McClelland all in the matchday squad 2 years ago. Forrester today facing a Pats record per year's medal. His success in 2014 and 2021.
In battles all over the cheer. I agree with Alan Paulie when he mentioned likes of James Lennon, Kenny James Clark. James Clark is man of the match back in August in Richmond Park in the 0-0 game, and he was excellent in the game, but he wasn't up against Lennon. He is the one that gives the protection. He's Clark getting the ball and dribbling, and he also shield the ball going into Afolabi as well. Then it's obviously Afolabi up against Redmond, takes the crosses and into the box, ball down the side, the goal, he's up down in Galway, he gets down the side, off the centre back and crosses. So you're trying to limit that moment for Bohemians. Can Pats get Keane into the game? Can they get Chris Forrester into the game?
The first time it's ever taken. Alongside Sean Dillon, an old teammate of yours, won FAI Cups together.
Yeah, in fairness, Sean Dillon, one of my closest friends. He played with John Daly. We were all neighbours. We lived in the same estate over in Scotland when John was playing for Dundee United with Sean Dillon, and I was with St Johnson. But he came through really brilliant St. Pat, Cherry Orchard team, the likes of Keith Henderson. He went on to win an FAI Cup with Pats also. Stephen Paisley too, the great coming up. His dad would be really proud of him. Here. It's the 10th anniversary of his father's death on Tuesday, so it's a poignant moment for him. John never used to call him down the sideline, so it's fantastic for John to be able to be the team out here.
Devine, well, he was the manager fans as well as ourselves can have a perfect view of this 2023 FAI Cup final. The paths to the final, but both sides haven't had it easy. Bohs met Shell first out. Jonathan Afolabi's goal good enough to beat them. And it was a 6-0 win against the Intermediate Cup winners Rockmount before they handled a tough-looking trip to Drogheda and a semi-final win in Galway. They last half hour of that one with 10 men after Rakowski's sending off. And as for St. Pat's, well, they've done it on the hard way. All games away from home, including knocking out the holders at the time, Derry City, on penalties at the Brandywell. Pat's looking to launch the first attack. Offside flag up, I think it's Mark Doyle on that far side.
Just waiting on it to clear so we can actually get a good view of it. Even on the screens, it's a bit dark for us up here.
Well, these early moments always so important. It was a little bit cagey when the sides met 2 years ago, though. These two sides, so much changes in the space of 2 years on the pitch and in the dugout. And for Declan Devine, he's spoken about the disappointment of how they ended the league season. Bohemians, the 3 wins in the last 10 league games saw them slip out of European contention. And as such, they will have to win the cup today to have European football to look forward to next season. Pats already have it, of course, 3rd place for them in the league. Breslin has played all bar one Leinster Senior Cup game for Pats this season against Dylan Connolly. And on the other side, we've got Danny Grant and Sam Curtis.
Some key matchups, and it's again, how many individual battles can you win? And the more you win, the more likely your team is to win the game.
Good early header away for Cian Byrne. What a moment for him. Rakowski's suspension and faith put in youth came through at Luard Celtic. Cian Byrne, but it was first half of this season spent on loan at Longford that did a lot for him. Stephen Henderson, his manager there, couldn't speak highly enough of his contribution. Cian Byrne, and he is starting on the left-hand side of that centre-back pairing. Big ball swept across by Carty, headed away by Kukulowicz. That's looking to get back on the front foot again. Nice ball out from James McManus, and now Bohs on the move. Here's Afolabi looking for that flick back on the inside. Thunderous collision there between Clark and Jamie Lennon. There's Chris Forrester to bring it away for Pats. Good tempo to these early minutes.
And it sums up the game originally with the tackle from Clark and Redmond going into it, and then Chris Forrester spills out. He just dinks it over the oncoming player, and they're away, Pats. But it's a foul, it's a good foul just to stop them. Probably Bohs advancing on them, but you can see what they're trying to do. Curtis has actually gone inside, and they're trying to get Mulroney on the ball and free him up to have a 1v1 with Flores on this side. You see why McManus is in the game. The first pass he gets, bang, straight out to Conley. Conley's away, and they're in at St. Pat's back 4.
Ball looking for the run of Carty, very hard runner. Youngster from Dunlavin will be part of the under-21 squad for the upcoming qualifiers against Norway and Italy. Several of them on show today, including Cian Levy. No way through there.
You touched on Cian Byrne. He came on in the semi-final down there, and he was excellent. Didn't put a foot wrong. He had to head it and kick it. They were down to 10 men. He had the freedom to do that. That's his job today. Go and head it, defend, and grow into the game. We touched on his youth. And then you look at Sam Curtis, 17 years of age, playing in a cup final as well. It's fantastic.
Flores was the winner here in what's known as the David Macmillan final, I guess these days, the hat-trick for Dundalk 3 years ago. McManus looking forward, sliced by Lennon. Here goes Afolabi. Redmond's got to try and get across. Afolabi tried to square it. Redmond read his intentions. Vital piece of work from the Pats skipper. There's an offside flag here against Carty.
It's a massive block. You can see Afolabi's putting his hand up to apologise. Lennon is in that screening position we were talking about. He just scoops it over Norman's head and he's away. In fairness to Redmond, he doesn't do that other than just hold it, make Afolabi make a decision. It probably wasn't the right decision.
Well, they had 3 years together at a star-studded St. Joseph's Boys side under their manager at the time, Mick Brown, who's still doing sterling work out of Joey's, and he's here today along with around 300 youngsters from the club. That they won 3 in a row DDSL Premier Division titles, 2 national cups, losing the 3rd final in the penalty shootout. Afolabi went off to Southampton. Joe Redmond went off to Birmingham, where he was an FA Youth Cup semi-finalist as well. But they know each other well. was a team at Joey's that also had Andy Lyons and Promise Omachair and Aaron Bolger and Brandon Kavanagh. There's a lot of big clubs represented today in terms of where these young players have come through from.
It shows the importance of the grassroots structures and why we need them, why they're vital for their development as Irish footballers.
Belvedere and Cherry Orchard, Kevin's and Crumlin and St Francis and Lourdes have all had one or more of these players on their books in the early years. And such a proud day for all of those clubs to be in attendance at an occasion like this one.
See it now, it's proper full now where all the fans are in. Some of them get here late, but it absolutely looks fantastic from our vantage point.
Redmond will go short to Curtis. Back with Dean Linus, who's certainly worth the mention as well. Player of the year, having come in strange circumstances. The bad injury to a friend and a former colleague, Danny Rogers, who's on the bench today, right at the start of the season. And Linus was brought in. He's ended up as the club player of the year, as coincidentally Vidislav Jaros was back in 2021 when Pats won the cup. Might be hoping, Pats fans, that's a positive omen for today.
Yeah, he had a really good career. He came on trial at Dundee when we were there, and he was an excellent trainer, really good. He ended up going on and signing for St Mirren and broke into their first team, so he's had a really good career, especially up in Scotland.
Doyle, Levy lets it run to Breslin. Here comes the cross in towards Carty. What a touch that from Christian Novak at full stretch. Carty was winding up, dreaming of that breakthrough goal, but Novak to the rescue. We've seen both number 4s now at either end with big interventions.
Yeah, that one was more on a stretch than Redmond's. You see, it's a wonderful ball. He just wraps his foot round and he's putting it into that area where the keeper can't come from it. That's an unbelievable block when you can see Carty's lined up behind him. He has the trigger pulled, ready to go.
What a tempting ball from Breslin, who was left out by St Pat's, or by Bohs rather, 2 years ago. Tyreek Wilson started that final. He was asked about it during the week, Andrew Breslin. He dealt with it in a very positive fashion, stayed around the camp, encouraging his teammates. Gets his chance today. Here's Danny Grant, sets it up to the edge. Adam MacDonald about to pull the trigger. Mulroney slid in. Oh, penalty in the early minutes. And what an opportunity now for Bohemians.
Looks like he's come through the back of Afolabi. Afolabi just puts his body out. Grant checks back and tries a cut back here. You see he's lining her up. It's like a ricochet tackle from Mulroney onto MacDonald. Then it is Breslin that comes through the back of Afolabi. Come through the back of him. You can't come through the back of him like that.
And so it will be John Afolabi to step forward. A stellar season, 19 goals, 15 in the league, 4 from the penalty spot against UCD, Drogheda, Derry, and in the cup win at Drogheda. Facing down Dean Linus. Pats fans behind their goal, doing their best to put off the Bohemian striker. He's been almost foot perfect this season, and he's foot perfect there. 20 for the season for John Afolabi, and Bohemians in front early.
Yeah, what a season he's having. He's been the difference in Bohemians this year. He's been fantastic. You mentioned Promise Ovichar. George Kelly that was here before as well. He's filled that void unbelievably well this season. He's been absolutely fantastic, and it's no coincidence he's the one that earns the penalty and then he steps up to take, and it's a brilliant start and everything you'd want for Bohemians.
Well, he's been the one for Declan Devine this season, hasn't he? The big target man up front, but he has delivered.
Yeah, you can see lefties, you see Linus trying to second guess it. He just wraps his foot round and plants it into the bottom corner.
Just the start Declan Devine would have hoped for.
Go back to Breslin. He can't do that at that point. He can't do that in the area he does it. Whatever about doing it further up the pitch, you give away a foul, it might be worth the risk. Look, I can nick the ball away and stop them. You can't make challenges like that in the box, and ultimately it's cost his team.
The most experienced member of that Pats back four. And the positive, I guess, is that that goal has come so early. There's a long, long way to go still today. And this a Pat side that has plenty of goals in it.
Yeah, he just has to put it behind him and make sure he has a positive impact on his team going forward.
Players on the pitch down at the goal behind James Talbot, so another delay here. This really was, you're asking anyone coming into the ground, talking to everyone during the week, a really hard to call cup final, toss of a coin really. You look at the four league meetings this season. The Bohs won the first at Richmond Park and then got a draw there in August. Pats won twice at Delymount Park, including that most recent meeting at the end of October. Maybe the more question marks surrounded Bohs today with the absence of Radkowski. He and Novak had started well over 30 games as a partnership this season, having to make that change there, losing Keith Buckley. But they've settled well and they've got the early breakthrough.
Yeah, again, like you watch it here, it's like a ricochet. Mulroney comes back and tackles it onto McDonald, and then he's coming across and he just puts his left. Afolabi's clever here, he just puts his left foot out across the ball and he's nearly inviting the contact, knowing that if he does get contact, it's a penalty. Breslin can't do that, he has to stop, and it's very hard at that moment in time to put the brakes on, but there has to be an element of, he's not in a position to take a really good touch and hurt us here because his direction is away from goal. And then you're hoping Norman then steps forward and can make the block, but you have to allow that touch to happen, and then you can make a challenge afterwards and trust your centre back.
Quick clicking forwards can cause havoc in situations like that. We saw Ronan Coughlin and Cian Coleman, that incident in Tala in the playoff on Friday night. Coughlin's penalty ultimately the one that sent Waterford up to the Premier Division for next season and relegated Cork City. If you're a striker, you want to have those positive early moments. Carty was almost in at one end just a few minutes before that, but for the brilliant clearance from Novak. But Afolabi, you've got to hold your nerve stepping up to the penalty spot in an atmosphere like this one. And it never looked like it was in doubt.
And he had a good start, like you said. He had that chance early down the side where he runs. You can see what Bohemians are trying to do. Lennon is screening in front of Afolabi, and they're just trying to reverse passes into Clark on the other side and make Forrester run back towards his own goal. That's what happened, and then the ball spills out to Grant on this side, and then they're away. But like you said, positive impact, he's created a penalty, he's scored it, and he probably is the biggest match winner on the pitch between both sides.
So we're up and running again. Here's David Norman, the Canadian who came in midway through the season. He's taken over from Jay McGrath as Redmond's regular centre-back partner now. Redmond's looking for one for Carty, who's strong and gets his body across Byrne there. Byrne can clear towards halfway. Flicked on by Afolabi, looking for the pace of Grant. Tidied up by Redmond and Norman again. It's had a good impact, Norman, since coming in. Pats fans might go back a few years when they were down in the nether reaches of the Premier Division table. Jordy Ball came in at centre-back and made a big impact as they stayed up that season. Here's an opportunity now for John Daly's men to put some pressure on the goal of James Talbot.
Pats need to try and get Forrester and Levy into the game. They haven't really touched the ball that much. Levy was fantastic in the game against Rovers there recently. I know they lost 2-0, but for 60 minutes he was brilliant. But they need to get him on the ball. He hasn't really touched or impacted the game as yet.
The likes of Levy and Carty, perpetual motion. Mulroney back to Redmond. Now Curtis. Back on the inside for Sam Curtis, his 60th senior game for St. Pat's, at the age of 17. Byrne in a wrestle with Carty, and there's that strength of Conor Carty. Needs some options now. And credit to Byrne, he got back to get a block on it, but it does run for a corner.
Brilliant play from Carty, he just pins him, but Byrne can't afford to get involved in that battle. You can't let him get a grip of him and back him down. But once Carty does turn, I think he actually should keep driving and just wrap his right foot across it. Instead he's checking back to use his left. Keep driving, wrap your right foot across it and see what happens once you put the ball across the box.
So Mulroney to deliver. Levy there for the short one if he wants, but it goes deeper on the back towards Norman. Bohs win the header, back out towards Doyle. Didn't make the contact he wanted. Bohs looking to race away. That was vital from Cian Levy. to stop the counter-attack and now drive Pats forward himself.
It's a vital interception because Bohs are away. It's not the best of strikes or the cleanest of strikes from Doyle on the edge of the box. And Bohs are onto it and they're travelling. Levy does really well to come back around and actually get his team a throw-in up the pitch.
Breslin looking for an option here. Forrester's on the move, being tracked by James Clark. He goes to Levy. Start of the season at Shelburne. The only goal he scored for them was a winner against Bohemians. And then he was injured and then opted not to stay at Shells beyond the summer. Big switch of play, headed away by Flores. Curtis. Flores applying the pressure on Mulroney. It will remain in Pat's possession though.
Not sure it's the best option for Norman. You know, Mulroney, unless you're giving it to his feet at that level, are really pinging it out to him on a diag that allows him to take a touch and grab people. He's not going to win you a header. He looks a bit isolated over there as well. Bohs obviously win the header. But they need to sort of try and play through Forrester and Levy and get them up the pitch, sustained possession up there.
Interesting call from Declan Devine to leave Paddy Kirk out, the regular starting left back, but Flores has played quite a bit of his football in that position. He is in there and captains the team today in Buckley's absence. Good run by Clark off the back of Jamie Lennon. Here's Kukulowicz. On that right-hand side, Dylan Connolly, a chance to go with Breslin, gets his cross in. Curtis tucking in to head away. Novak. Now McManus. James McManus will be heading off with the Ireland under-19s in the morning, along with Mason Melia and Adam Murphy. McManus, who has finished his leaving cert, I was talking to him during the week, he's deferred his law degree. A man who's high achieving on several levels.
I think it'll be all right. What do you think that's going forward? Brave decision again from Devine. Like you said, Kirk has been excellent for them as well. Paddy Kirk in at left back. He puts Flores in to play beside Bourne, maybe just give him that bit of experience. And he's released McManus in midfield because he knows that they're going to have to play. They're going to have to control the ball at some stage in the game, and that's what they've done. McDonald beside him has been excellent. He's been really good for Bohs this year. He's brought an energy to them, brought a bit of legs. He's willing to run. He's willing to help defend, and he's willing to help get forward as well.
Here is Danny Grant backing up Sam Curtis. Checks back onto his right foot. Curtis got studs to it, and Jamie Lennon felt he had to play that. Dylan Connolly arriving in behind him.
100% he had to play it because Connolly is arriving in. He's run on the inside of Breslin. Breslin probably doesn't think he makes it all the way through. So Lennon, that's a vital interception without him actually knowing about it.
Good awareness from Jamie Lennon. He's had a big season for St. Pat's. That included scoring his first ever league goal for them. Just his second goal in total. And Norman picking up Novak, one of the many matchups we can see down there. And Pat's defensively got them right. Corner taken short by Kukulowicz, who gets it back again and looks to Afolabi on the penalty spot. He got turned. And boy, by the conversion of that penalty, fancy taking it on.
But it really well worked. They're probably wanting for Afolabi to come around and shoot with his left foot on that side. It's a little bit behind him, but this is the difference in Breslin not biting on it. That's what happens when he's forced away from goal. He can't get a swivel on it and ends up going over the bar. Really interesting first set piece for Bohemians.
Linus has ushered his centre halves forward. And this one going long, down towards Conor Carty. With a nudge in the back from Novak. Grant for Flores, and Forrester will give chase here. Solid clearance away by Talbot. Afolabi, it works out for Connolly, who was trying to link up with Clark. James Clark got it now. Carries it with such poise. Danny Grant drives into the penalty area. Twisting and turning, looks to set one up. Clark on the edge. Just couldn't keep it down, and he's Disappointed with himself there, James Clark.
They don't get the original second ball, Pats, and it goes back to Talbot. But then once it goes into Afolabi, they're away, and Clark comes onto the ball, feeds Grant, and Grant just has Sam Curtis 1v1. He might need some help from Mulroney. He has to come back and help him back a little bit. The cutback just goes over the bar from Clark.
7 goals in that attacking midfield role this season, James Clark. Fantastically technical player. And a big impression at Drogheda before arriving at Bohs.
He's been brilliant for them since he's come in halfway through the season. He came on and they were 2-0 down the Rovers, and he sparked them. Afolabi then scores. I know Stewie Bourne touched on it, the goal that sparked Afolabi, but he gets the equaliser where he travels. He travels really well with the ball. He probably travels quicker with the ball than he does without it. I know that sounds silly at times, but he does. He's a really good dribbler, and he's been vital for them since he's gone into that position.
Mulroney caught by Danny Grant. For Jake Mulroney, and FAI Cup final over a decade away from Ireland before making his return. He played in the 2019 Scottish Cup final against Celtic. Hoping for a better outcome today. Lennon. Levy on the move again, sets it back for Norman. His dad had the same name as a former UCD player back in the day. Curtis stabs it down the line for Mulroney. And McDonald a little bit too aggressive.
Buying them a lot of fouls, Mulroney. In fairness, it probably wasn't the best of balls from Curtis down the side. And McDonald's on his way over, and he's just waiting for the contact, Mulroney. He just takes a touch, and then it's a chance for Pats to load her up and get it into the box.
Last free kick didn't take that option, but this one at a more enticing angle perhaps and distance for Jake Mulroney. Norman's round the back again, Redmond about to join him, Carty's there, Forrester on the edge, and likewise Levy. And we land this on the money, Jake Mulroney. It's a fantastic ball in! 1-1, Mark Doyle. Well, he's a happy knack of scoring goals against Bohemians this season. Mark Doyle got on the end of a tantalising delivery from Jake Mulroney.
You touched on it earlier, can he put it on the money? And he did. An unbelievable cross from Mulroney, right over the top of the first player in the hole, and it's Doyle. You can see one of them's not sure who's coming across to try and head away. It's Nowak, but it's really good. He just plants himself, and he knows any type of touch on it will get it goalward. Because he's that close to the goal, Talbot doesn't have a chance to react. It's a little bit of nudge on Keane Bourne, I think. One that really, it's all down to the delivery, Des. Brilliant delivery from Mulroney, and a really good header from Doyle.
Well, it had pace, it had whip. He just had to get himself on the end of it in the right position. Got himself between the two centre-backs, Mark Doyle. It's the third goal he's got against Bohemians this season. Scored in the semi-final, the breakthrough goal down at Turner's Cross. He's now an FAI Cup final goal scorer.
I actually think it's that good a cross that even if he doesn't touch it, it probably ends up going in as well. Brilliant delivery from Mulroney, and we touched on it as the free kick was happening. A needless free kick at the time. It's a 2v1 in Bohs' favour. He doesn't need to make the challenge, and that's what it ultimately leads to.
Right on the midway point of the first half. Fantastic fare so far for this sellout crowd.
You were surprised Mulroney was in the team, but that's probably why. Because I know McClelland had played in Dalymount and been excellent in the game, and they won the game comfortably 2-0. But you probably see why Mulroney's in the side there. He's willing to take the ball in tight areas, but his delivery is on the money. Kukulevich needs to be a bit stronger here. I know where Doyle has just sort of pinned them and pushed them forward a little bit, and once he's pushed them forward, there's no way back. He actually needs to go back and jump backwards into him, and even if it means he flicks it over for the corner, that's what you have to do. Just has to stand his ground a little bit stronger, put his right arm up and say to Doyle, you want to score here, I'm going to have to come around that.
It's awkward for Curtis. Danny Grant almost in behind him. Mulroney. Lennon looking for a way out. Unable to find one.
But what a start. 2 goals in 24 minutes.
McManus. That's it, run across his body by himself that little bit of time. Kukulevitz. Lovely first touch from Clark. Now Flores. Grant again urged to run at Sam Curtis. Which way does he go this time? Still Danny Grant. And Curtis asked him to make his move.
He's done really well, Curtis. I actually think he's probably given Grant a bit too much space to get a run up at him and allows him to back him into the box. If he goes out and maybe engages him earlier, he can make a challenge that doesn't result in a penalty kick. He done brilliant eventually to kick it off him, but sometimes he just needs to go out and engage a little bit earlier.
Incredible to think Sam Curtis, it's 3 years ago last month he made his senior debut for Shamrock Rovers 2 at the age of 14.
And he didn't look out of place playing back then either. He was, again, the physicality of him, but it was all about his aggression, how aggressive he was to get to the ball, how aggressive he was going forward with the ball. And he's been excellent. And what a decision he's made to go to Pats, and now he has, like you said, he's here playing in the cup final. And one of the interesting things from the set piece is Afolabi doesn't go back, and you can see somebody with his size and presence that would help Bohs in the defensive area. That they didn't bring him back, they leave him up the pitch, and maybe putting him in that area of the pitch when they're defending the set pieces might help them,
particularly with no Radkowski as well.
That's the bit I was teeing you up for, this.
Now, Bohs were very disappointed with that sending off down in Galway and what it would cost them. It didn't cost them on the day, and as you said, Cian Byrne came in for that last half hour and did superbly, but for a player to miss that cup final as a result. Forrester looking to show his passing range. Flores stronger than Mulroney that time, and here's MacDonald. Back with Byrne. Flores again. Neat little check on the inside, stamps it forward to MacDonald. They're rolling forward here impressively, Bohemians. Afolabi turns away from Redmond. Clark. 2 Pats players converging on him. McManus. Afolabi now looking to restore some order. He's got the strength to see off Lennon once and twice. Now out to the right hand side. Dylan Connolly drives it low across goal. Oh, Danny Grant doing his best to get there. Brilliant cover at the back from Sam Curtis.
It's brilliant play from both sides. Afolabi originally is the strength, and this is what I was saying about just firing across the box and see what happens. Clark is agonisingly away from you. See, well, he's a little bit further away on the replay, but it's great defending from Curtis. He's right in the way you'd want your right back, in line with the back post. Great defending at the back post from Sam Curtis.
And you could see he had 2 little looks over his shoulder when Dylan Connolly was getting on that, just to check where Danny Grant was.
1 second rule, 1 second on the ball, 1 second on your man. But just keep being vigilant with it.
Now invention on the first corner kick from Bohs and Kukulevitz. He's got a really good right foot delivery. Can he show it here towards that near post? And it's Curtis to head it away. Getting very close to scoring from a free kick against Pats at Dalymount back in October. Mark Kukulevitz denied by a brilliant save from Dean Linus. Think back to that Pats Cup win in 2014 and the outpouring of emotion afterwards. Famine that dated all the way back to 1961, 7 final defeats between that one and the 2014 win. For Bohs, 2008 seems like such a long time ago now, and that was at the RDS when they completed the double with one of the best teams we've seen in the last 20 years in the League of Ireland under Pat Fenlon. Now back at the club as Director of Football, Pat. Kukulevitz alive to that ball, more so than Levy was.
Carty does well just to get his body in and deflect it back to Forrester. Forrester actually has more time, and it's not like him. Normally takes touches and drives there. Disappointing in the end. But yeah, I was at all of them finals. Some of the ones Pats lost in the 90s as well. The replay, Tony Sheridan's volley. then I was at the one in the RDS as well, and again, just brilliant days. But when you see it here and the showpiece and everything that comes with it, it's absolutely unbelievable.
Sharp bit of work here from Dylan Connolly. Danny Grant again, seen plenty of it in his early minutes. Good block again from Curtis. Got his angles right. The Bohs are feeding Grant time and again. Second spell at the club. Driving on here, and again checking back onto his right. Redmond got an important touch on that one. The attack kept alive by Afolabi. Kukulowicz and Clark. McManus puts it down the line for Connolly again. No way beyond Breslin. Good ball to pick out Forrester. They want him on it as much as possible, but that's short. Mulroney left behind as Flores charges on. Looking for movement in ahead of him or inside. It's Clark. Shifts it on to his left. It went through the legs of Redmonds. And that's always a nervy one for a goalkeeper, anticipating maybe a deflection. But in the end, no harm done.
Yeah, it was a really good move to start with. Flores intercepts it from Mulroney. It probably wasn't the best of ball from Forrester's. Grant makes a run and empties out the centre of the pitch, and it allows Clark just to come onto it. Probably not in his favourite foot on that side of it, but he just drags it and pulls on it. And I think, like you said, Linus is happy to see that it doesn't get a deflection and goes in, but Breslin in the background there to be delighted that Pats are back in it now.
And towards the Pats goal scorer, Mark Doyle. And a challenge with Kukulowicz, Pats throwing. It's just been a fantastic week, hasn't it, for all lovers of the domestic game. The build-up's been there. I have to say, Gavin White, involved with the FAI, has done a lot as well to really push this and drive this on. Both clubs were received at Ars and Uachtaráin by Michael D. Higgins this week as well. The captains and the managers were there. And both clubs, both sides very much going for it from the off here. Clark on the move again, Redmond out from the middle to deal with them. And it will be another corner.
Yeah, Des, going back to your point, it's everything you'd want for the league. They're driving down the quays and there's flags, there's Pats flags up on the south side, there's Bohs fans up on the north side, there's billboards for the game, there's billboards for the FAI. I'd never thought I'd see it, and it's absolutely brilliant, and both clubs deserve a lot of credit. The FAI do deserve a lot of credit for this, and like we always said, if you do build it, you put on a good product, they will come, but you have to back it, and both these clubs have backed it, and now everybody else is getting behind it.
Now a different setup in and around Linus from Bohs this time. Kukulowicz to deliver again. Curtis guarding that hole at the near post again. It's gone over his head. Redmond with a solid header away. McDonnell on the cover, and back with James Talbot. Launches it downfield. Free header this time for Curtis. Back in field he goes. Forrester. Lovely touch that from Cian Byrne. And Grant again. Bohs definitely exploring the wide areas, and Grant and Connolly. McManus. Grant has Flores with him if he wants. Still Danny Grant looking for that yard of space. Running into Pat's bodies though.
Mark Doyle does really well there, because again it looks like he's going to throw a challenge and he just sort of tentatively sticks his leg out and gets a nick on the ball. Fairness to Sam Curtis, he's embracing the challenge of Grant running at him. He's going toe to toe with him. He's like, come on, bring it on, and it's great to see.
Around the corner from Forrester. Seen that ball down through the years. Keith Fahey for Conan Byrne, many a time at Richmond Park.
Yeah, Keith Fahey, what a right foot he had. Unbelievable player.
Levy offers himself for the Curtis throw-in, back with Redmond. Afolabi looking to hunt him down, and track support up with him. Connolly closing on Norman, so it's a lovely ball clipped out by Linus to that far side. Doyle.
Yeah, they've done well just to gain control of the ball there, because the pass behind Redmond just put them under pressure, and Bohs sniffed it and it started edging up, but Linus playing across himself does well, and Doyle offered him up and then they just get control of the football again. But again, how often can they get Forrester on the ball and Levy?
Just seeing the last few moments, Chris Forrester dropping a little deeper into his own half. Carty looking to cause a problem there for Byrne.
The issue Pats have sometimes, Des, is that when Forrester does drop into play, Levy's coming as well, and it leaves Carty a little bit isolated. And you see that one there, he goes into a little inside channel and ends up getting flicked into the box, but there's not a Pats player within 10-15 yards of him on the inside of him. So it's really important that Levy is disciplined, that when Forrester does drop in, he stays attached to Carty. You see Clark and Afolabi, they're always within 10-20 yards of each other to make sure they're playing as a pair.
But out to Byrne, who had big success last season. He was captain of the Bohs under-19s, who won the Enda McGill final, beating Pats in the final with Jamie Mullen's goal. Quite a double for him to achieve in the space of about 12 months or so. I think he could have the senior honour. There goes Connolly, who revel in these open spaces. Breslin gets his foot in.
Great ball up from Keane Bourne into Afolabi's chest, and Redmond does really well because he doesn't fight. He allows Afolabi to take his touch and then he nicks the second one. Sometimes when somebody's bigger and stronger than that, you just have to take a step back, let that touch go out sideways and then step in ahead of him.
Grant, Curtis looking to engage him there closer to the halfway line. Good challenge from Lennon. Got in there twice to win the ball cleanly. Here's Levy. He's got some space that he can drive into here, Cian Levy. McDonald going with him.
It shows the strengths of Levy there when he just picks it up and he's away, but it all comes off the back of Lennon as well, nicking at midfield. And Levy's running power with the ball is brilliant, and he's up, but he just delays his pass to Mulroney a little bit too long. But you can see Lennon's commitment there. He goes into two challenges, and that gets Pats up the pitch.
To say he probably falls into the unsung hero category, Jamie Lennon for Pats. Curtis swinging that one in. Kukulowicz with the header away. Dylan Connolly and the referee end up on the ground. Breslin, that one's deflected and out for a corner.
I think he's one of those players that once you play with him, I'd say you appreciate him a lot more for what he does. As a centre-back, he's going to screen, he's going to offer up the passes. You see he spills out the Breslin, he's thinking of having the shot, he takes an extra touch. It's a block from McDonald in the end. But this time they do bring Afolabi back for this one, and Connolly's the one that goes up front. Maybe he can listen, maybe he can hear us this.
Does this spell danger for Bohs again? A Mulroney set piece. Another good delivery. Afolabi was climbing, couldn't get there. Novak got a touch. Not allowed Talbot to come and play. Now Connolly down in the centre circle, and Talbot trying to draw the referee's attention that there was something untoward there.
I'm not sure if Talbot was given out about stopping being able to play out so quickly, or that Connolly took a smack on the halfway line when he tries to run over the top. I think he just gets blocked off.
Pat's hopes of defending the FAI Cup last season came to a very premature end when they were beaten first out by Waterford, which was a massive disappointment for them. They've been steely in their determination to get back to the Aviva this year. Four-time FAI Cup winners. Bohemians 7 times victorious, 7 times beaten finalists as well. These two clubs have known as much heartache as joy in this competition down through the years.
You see just after the hectic start, setting down where both teams are just playing in their shape a little bit.
McDonald there for Bohs again to break up the play. Flores. Cian Byrne might be tender in years, but he just blocked off Carty there to give Talbot a few seconds more. Forrester. To work something there with Lennon. The return ball maybe not what it might have been. Hand of apology offered by Jamie Lennon.
And he just tidies it up as well, but Sam Curtis from the kick out, he just pushes off Grant and chests it down, maintains possession for Pats. Very relaxed on the ball.
Good pace on that from Norman. Breslin almost had Doyle in behind. Just needed that little bit more on the pass. Put out by Kukulovic. Clark. It's a fabulous ball, and Connolly is lightning quick. Norman gets across. Well, that was all or nothing from David Norman.
It was a brilliant, really vital interception, and the fact that he throws a leg on it to chop it back is brilliant from Norman. Really good.
Soon after that, there was that coming together between Kukulovic and Doyle.
But you see it here, you see Norman sort of looking on his right shoulder for Afolabi, and it means Breslin doesn't have any cover, so he ends up spotting it late, but he does spot it. Now, I'm praising him, I'm not sure how much he meant that one. I thought he actually tried to put a flick on it, but in the end, it probably looks like he got lucky.
Well, by hook or by crook.
He needs to know that if Breslin has no cover like that, he needs to step into that channel a little bit earlier and offer him a little bit more cover and allow Redmond then to pick up Afolabi.
Have to think as well with the pace Bohs have in those wide areas, the higher up that Pat's defensive line, the more they might fancy it if they can get Clark and McManus playing those balls in behind and forward.
And on the opposite side, Redmond's played that ball twice now in the game, and both times it's ran out. Carty's very isolated when you go into him on a straight ball. You need to put angles on the passes so that you can get support, because otherwise it's just going to end up a dead ball.
Conor Carty at 21 leading the line. The backup strikers for John Daly, 19-year-old Tommy Lonergan, 16-year-old Mason Mealy. I asked John during the week when Owen Doyle made that decision midway through the season to hang up his boots, was it a case of looking around and saying we're okay with what we've got? They might be young, but we'll put our faith in them. And he said, one-word answer, yes.
Yeah, and again, you can't, when the talent's coming, you just got to make room. If there's room to let it flourish, Owen Doyle leaving allowed the room for Mason Mealy to come in and flourish, but he was on his way, and anyway, he come through at St. Joey's. Brilliant, really good schoolboy career over there, and it's no coincidence to see him on the bench here tonight.
There goes Connolly again. Good tackle from Breslin. Mason Mealy, I'm sure you've heard the news, signed his first professional contract this week at the age of 16, 3-year deal. Just to put things in perspective, he did his junior certs in the summer while also playing in the Euros under-17s for Colin O'Brien's Republic of Ireland.
I think the fact that it's a 3-year deal is massive, and for people trying to understand it, it takes him past the 18 mark, which obviously brings in that he can move to the UK.
Kulovic's in. Another good defensive moment for David Norman.
Getting crosses into the box. Connolly gets deliveries, Grant gets deliveries. Afolabi's just on the move, but he's just a little bit too late. Norman manages to get ahead on it and takes the contact, and it's rightly a free out for St. Pat's.
He's got that physical presence, David Norman. I should mention Tom Gravosti as well, the luckless Tom Gravosti, who's just had an injury hell to deal with, and this season cut very short for him. Redmond rolls it into Lennon. Whips it out to Curtis. First time we've seen him in an advanced position.
You see what they're trying to do. Mulroney comes in off the line in between Flores and Keane Bourne, and they're trying to get it out to their fullbacks to allow them to run on the inside of that. But sometimes when McDonald takes that run, they have to go into the second striker, because that's where the space is. If McDonald's going to track Mulroney from that area, they're going to be short in the middle of the pitch. So you have to look, can they use the run of Mulroney and go inside?
Oh, this is opened up for Forrester, who lets fly and wasn't a million miles away. It was swerving and dipping, and Talbot was certainly interested in this one.
And there you go, that pass inside just opens her up, it frees them up, and he second touch decides on taking the shot. You can see the movement on it. See his second touch, he has a look around, weighs up his options. I tell you what, it's dipping, Des. I thought when he hit it, I thought, looks too big. It starts to dip.
Oh, what a season he's had again. Chris Forrester, 15 goals, Pat's leading scorer. Very much a man they look to in the big games, on the big occasion. Grant back in field. Afolabi has that stature to hold off Lennon. And then Curtis getting himself between ball and the run of Danny Grant.
Like you said, I think if a 28-year-old defender does that, you'd say he's using all his experience. For the 17-year-old to be doing it, it's brilliant. Just shows his game intelligence, and that comes with playing games early. At the age of 14, he's been playing against men.
As well as senior level, if you ever get the opportunity, and you know, of course, at the underage level, a chance to go out and see these clubs and their teams play underage, 14s, 15s, 17s, 19s, whatever it is. Some unbelievable talent out there. The production line is strong.
Yeah, the 16s just retained the Victory Shield there on Saturday as well. So, like you said, the talent is there. We just got to give it a chance to flourish.
I think because of all the flares that have been thrown on after the 2 goals we'll have at least 5 minutes to be added on at the end of this first half. Will one of those 5 minutes bring us a lead goal?
Both teams are just getting a breath, like you said, after that original start. Bohs came out with the blocks, get a penalty, go 1-0 up. Pats end up just nicking their way into it, just getting fouls, getting them up the pitch. And one of them leads to a goal. But since then, there's been probably chances, half chances at either end. Forrester's shot, Sam Curtis clearance at the back post as well.
Carty. Oh, Cian Byrne has gone down off the ball there. Carty has been struggling to find room in front of goal. Didn't really catch that effort. An issue here for Cian Byrne. Sure if it was Carty or Forrester he collided with.
Just a little arm off. I don't think it's the right decision from Carty in the end. You can see just he has a hold of his jersey, they're both grabbing, and his left arm comes up and catches him. It's one of those where as a striker you're trying to push him off so you can get your space and get away, and he takes a sore one across the eye. But once he does that, he probably needs to feed Doyle and give Doyle the 1v1 on that side of the pitch. I don't think he's ever set the shoe.
Well, Declan Devine, who's got plenty down there to sound off to, including Derek Pender there, right of picture. Also got Gary Cronin, our 2 trusted lieutenants. And important when you're Declan Devine, I guess, coming down to Dublin to take on a big Dublin side, that you've got that inside knowledge that the likes of Derek Pender in particular would give you.
Obviously Betzer will understand what it means to play for Bohemians. He came to them when they were really struggling and got them to this point even as a coach. Now he's still going with them, and he's been brilliant for them, and he knows what it means to play for the club.
And a howl from Mulroney, the collision with Clark that got the Bohs bench on their feet. Paul McLaughlin happy with it though.
Looks like Clark just overruns his touch and then ends up trying to make a slide tackle to flick it back to Flores. I'm not sure if it's the follow through that hurts Mulroney.
Grant. First half stoppage time. Mulroney back to help out Curtis this time as Flores eased his way forward. Lovely turn from Clark. Looking to work something off Afolabi. Little nudge from Norman. Not enough to draw the whistle.
It's brilliant from Clark. Originally, you can see Doyle just, he pretends to Doyle like he's going to set it back and then just rolls through the gap, and that's what Clark in a nutshell. He's trying to play off Afolabi. At this time Norman does go tight and give him a nudge before he receives it. Really good defending from Norman.
How do you think both managers will ultimately make peace with this first half? What will they be thinking?
I think John Daly would be relieved, obviously, because he'd basically given them a goal with you know, an innocuous challenge in the box that leads to a penalty. But to come back into it the way they have, they probably had more of the ball, and you can see if they can get Levy into the game, Mulroney, Forrester, but they still need more from Carty, and they need to get more bodies around them.
Good feet from Mulroney, has that support there from Levy.
From the Boyne's point of view, you touched on it. Can they get it to Connolly and Grant a little bit more? And if they can start doing that, that will then in turn free up Clark.
A lovely little nutmeg from Forrester, but Bohs had cover there and numbers there, but they turned it over. Levy wrestling well forward again. Bohs fans urging him to have a go, resist the temptation. Doyle. Here's Levy again. Covers so much ground, and he's won the corner.
I think Declan Devine will be thinking, can we feed the wingers more? If we feed the wingers more, that will free up Clark. Both of them will then play into Jonathan Afolabi, because either you'd be getting crosses or they'd be playing through Clark. And they haven't got enough into him at this stage, and what they have, when they have got it into him, he's caused trouble.
Maybe the final opportunity now in this first half. Mulroney looking to give the signal. Joe Redmond knows the plan here and just giving instruction to a few others just to give him a little shield or two around the penalty spot. It's a deep delivery around the back. Curtis gets up, and Talbot, well, all he could do just to get gloves on it to bat it away under pressure. And now they look for that out ball, and Connolly survives the first challenge. Lennon in again quickly to win the second.
Brilliant from Lennon. The instinct is thinking just foul right before half time, but he does unbelievably well, because not only does he stop the attack, he then wins the throw in for them.
Well, there you go, a full house, an historic day for the FAI Cup final, and a flying start for Bohemians. John Afolabi winning the penalty, scoring the penalty, taking him to 20 for the season. But then a brilliant delivery from Jake Mulroney, a flashing header from Mark Doyle, taking him to double figures for his season. It's as tight as we expected it would be. Half-time at the Aviva Stadium. It's Bohemians 1, St Patrick's Athletic 1. We'll take a break. First half analysis to come in a few moments' time.
A lot of talk about the young player during the week, and he signed a 3-year contract with Pats, but it'll be a big day to introduce him, wouldn't it?
I certainly would, absolutely no doubt about that. I mean, I would have thought John Daly was dying for half-time, because I just feel that they're quite stretched at the moment, Pats, and they need to be a little bit more, I would say, just a little bit tighter through that centre of the area, centre of the pitch. Clark in particular is really availing of that extra space that just seems to be there at the moment.
Well, it's nicely poised at 1 apiece at half-time. The second half is about to start, so let's return to Des and Graham on commentary.
Yeah, thank you, Peter. Welcome back. And both teams so eager to get this second half up and running. They're out before the match officials, which you don't often see. But for John Afolabi, what a season he's had. And in the FAI Cup, he scored in every round now except the semi-final. And, of course, he was the man who laid on the goal for Dylan Connolly to win down in Galway. And Mark Doyle at the other end, as we said already, goal scorer at Turner's Cross in that semi-final, and now in the final. So all to play for a second half. The consensus in the studio seemed to be that Declan Devine would be the happier manager at half-time, that Pats have yet to really feel their way into their rhythm here.
No, they haven't. And again, like we touched on going into the break, was the importance of Bohemians wide men, Grant and Connolly. Can they get deliveries into the box? Grant on the other side, coming in off his right foot, will guarantee it across, because he just have that little check back. Can he deliver, and can Afolabi get across one? But Forrester, Levy, Doyle, Mulroney need to get involved in the game more. They need to get more touches to the ball. They need to get sustained pressure further up the pitch to allow Pats a platform to go and try and win the game.
So 1-1 at half-time, both sides attacking the goal behind, which their own fans will be gathered in the second half. Will that provide that extra source of inspiration? And John Daly right out the edge of his technical area there. It was a big decision, wasn't it, Tim Clancy? 13 games into the league season. Moving on, John Daly stepping up, but what a job he's done in league points alone. 45 out of a possible 69, as they ended up finishing third. And his overall record since picking the team, 18 wins, 3 draws, 8 defeats. And he's spoken a lot, just it's an awkward one really when you've been the assistant coming in, taking over. He said maybe just people see the game a little bit differently. He's just added his view to it. And Pats have had a big campaign. Here goes Forrester. Awkward for Novak. He managed to prod it away.
Yeah, he's done brilliant since he's come into the job. I know he won 3 out of 4 as an interim, and then he eventually gets the job. But there's a calmness about John Daly that I think, and he has a way of talking to the players that they've really bought into.
Well, that's a lot better. There's a problem here, and probably a card for James McManus. But that was better from Pats. It was crisp. It was 1 and 2 touch, and Levy was threatening to run away there.
Yeah, it's probably something we needed to touch on as well. The pace of play needs to be quicker, and in that instance it was. And you see, it's a really good touch from Levy. If he means it, just to get around the corner, he's away. Manus, obviously, he knows he has the foul, gives away a foul by pulling the jersey, and ultimately it's going to lead to a yellow card and another chance for a delivery from Mulroney.
A lovely angle from Mulroney here as well. Bohs start the defensive line about a yard inside the box. And now they drop Mulroney. Another fabulous ball. Oh, it's gone in off Novak. Joe Redmond there as well. He might be claiming the touch, but either way, St. Pat's in front. 2 minutes into the second half. Again, it's a Mulroney free kick that causes havoc. St. Pat's 2-1.
Yeah, Novak's the unlucky player here. It's hard to get. Again, a sublime delivery from Mulroney. We said coming up, here's another chance to put it into the box. He delivers again. It bounces on the 6-yard line. You can see the line here that they start offside. Keane Bourne drops originally and that catches Novak out, but you can see where it's landing. Can Talbot come and get it in that early pitch? I don't think so. But in the end, it's just unfortunate because he has to put a foot on it knowing that Redmond's sliding in behind him.
There you see it is an own goal. Joe Redmond applied such pressure. Novak couldn't let it run beyond him. An unfortunate moment for a player who's been massive for Declan Devine this season, Christian Novak. What a big moment right at the start of this second half for John Daly and St. Pat's.
Both deliveries, you got to make first contact on both deliveries if you're defending them, and on both occasions it's been Pats that have got there. It's gone through bodies at this one and ended up nearly at the back post, and Novak has to put his right foot on it. It's unlucky for him, he's a little bit twisted up. You can see Talbot trying to explain it, but he shouldn't be in that position where he's facing his own goal. But I think Keane Bourne drops about 2 yards too early, and that allows them to get a run and catch the others on side. But someone has to get a contact on it before it reaches Novak at the back post.
Well, whatever work they've done in the week and in the weeks leading up to this game on set pieces, it's paying dividends here.
Again, Mulroney's delivery just on the money. It's flat, it's fast, it's coming through, bodies at pace. Unbelievable.
If there weren't so many cameras, Joe Redmond might be claiming it, but it's definitely an own goal. And Pat's on the front foot again here. Doyle has been taken down, and it's McManus, is it?
Well, looking, Pat's players are surrounding the ref saying, look, it's another foul from him. The ball just gets away from him. He goes into the tackle. The Pat's players are saying, look. But I think, again, it's a harsh one for the referee. He's only booked him originally. Does he go and book him again? Send him off for the cup final. I think it's a big call, and I think he's probably made the right decision.
And he vacated the scene of the crime, James McManus, as quickly as he could. Mulroney again. There for Talbot, doesn't come for it though, leaves it to Novak to deal with. Afolabi. Here is Danny Grant, ball just wouldn't sit down for him. And Pat's recovered well. 3 players around him. Connolly. You can see he just knew out of the corner of his eye, he saw Jamie Lennon arriving.
I think the decision for Afolabi not to come back from set pieces, especially, I know he comes back from the corners and he does that position right in front of Talbot, and he's big and he's strong and he heads them away. I think from defensive set pieces, from wide areas and free kicks, you probably need him back there as a presence and plant them right in the middle of the goal and leave him free to just go and head it. Pat's do with Redmond. Pat's are on the break again.
Well, McManus wasn't given the show, and on a booking he can't make that tackle on Doyle, and here come Pats again. Real tempo about them at the start of this second half. Mulroney into Forrester, out to Levy. Here comes the cross. You can sense anything, so that box is causing panic. It was skied by McDonald, and now Talbot just asked everyone just to settle down a little bit.
But like you said, at the start they said you pass the ball a little bit quicker, the tempo in which they're getting the ball back, and as soon as they win it back they're breaking a lot quicker. There's real intent in the transitions, Pat. As soon as they win it back they're breaking, they're out in numbers, and they're not hesitating about putting the ball into the box.
Out by Breslin. Just a word on that second McManus challenge, already on a yellow card. I'm sure that the Pats bench were saying that on its own that it's a second yellow, and they're not going to take any chances with that now. James McManus, Flores into midfield.
Yeah, you can see John Daly having a word going. Look, that's why he's taking him off, because he should have been sent off. His first one is a booking all day long when the letter is the law. He pulls up jersey, stops a promising attack, it's a yellow card. The second one he goes to ground, it could possibly be a yellow card, but I think Chris McLaughlin is look, whether it's the right decision and by the letter of the law, but I think not sending them off, it's the right decision for us in the commentary box, because it keeps the game a lot more interesting.
Well, 2 yellow cards potentially were on the cards in quick succession there. Bohs reacting quickly. Flores! He's got a sweet left foot and he showed it there. It's a sharp save from Dean Linus, low down to his right-hand side.
And that's what frees up the middle of the pitch when Flores goes in there. He's a danger. He has a wonderful left foot, and you can see what he's trying to do. He's just trying to bend it around the Pats defender and use that body. But Linus is aware to it. You see a body just flashing across him. It's Redmond, and he watches all the way, Linus, and makes a great save down to his right.
Isn't it funny the way it can work? Flores with the departure of McManus into midfield, and his first touch in there, almost an equalizer. Norman did well under serious pressure from Novak. Levy. Connolly racing to get back to him. Still Cian Levy. It's a great recovery from Dylan Connolly, and McDonald's there as well.
Forced contact from Pats in the box. It's Norman again. He just flicks it out to the back post. Levy then recycles it brilliantly, knocks it around Connolly and carries them up the pitch. And now they're in Bohemians half. Brilliant from Levy. The intensity's come out to the second half. Has been up a level. You can tell he's eager to get on the ball. Daly must have said, look, we need our big players to turn up here and get on the ball and start driving the team forward. And they have in the opening 10 minutes of the second half.
Lovely switch there from Breslin to get Pats moving again. Mulroney, oh, it's been allowed to bounce, and Doyle almost on the end of it again.
Clutched on it, crosses, whipped it out to Mulroney, takes his touch inside. Curtis with the dummy run, and then he just flicks it into the box. But Novak has to head it. Unless he's getting a shout from his goalkeeper that's keepers, he has to just head it away. Because now what happens is it breeds uncertainty for the next one coming in.
And there's a problem in the aftermath here for Mark Doyle. There was just a little collision with Talbot. A little bit of attention. We've had official confirmation of the crowd that's come through. A record 43,881.
It's brilliant. I didn't think I'd see it in our lifetime, Des. I'm putting you in there with me, but it's absolutely unbelievable, and it's full credit to all the people that have turned up. It worked out to be a great day for it, and everything fell into place lovely. But it's full credit to these people. It's full credit to the clubs that have gone out and worked hard in their communities tirelessly to get them in. And you can see even Stephen Kenny here supporting it with his assistant Keith Andrews, and it's brilliant, absolutely brilliant. Somebody who came up through the league, it's everything you'd wish for.
Just wonder if Damien Duff is here today, because of course Shell's with skin in the game here, and it's working out their way at the moment. St. Pat's win the cup, then and Shell's going to Europe.
So he probably jumped off the couch and the second one went in.
Been quite an eventful week around Talca Park.
Yeah, you say that again. Dream team.
Here's Cian Byrne looking for the big diagonal. Didn't catch it as he would have wanted.
Just needs to slow down when you're hitting them ones, especially from left to right. You just need to just have a bit of patience with it. But it just shows how you're on the crest of a wave here in the league, and if we can build on it and grow it, and it's there for the FAI, and it's there for the government to say that these people will come and watch the games. It's vital that the infrastructure goes into building this game up, that it becomes sustainable for the next 10, 15, 20 years, as long as it needs to be.
Real wrestle to win the header, which Carty, as he found himself between two Bohs players, managed to do. There is Levy. Forrester. You can see how quick Bohs want to close him down. The charge led by Adam MacDonald, who'll continue on here with the squeeze on Dean Linus. Good clearance downfield, net by the head of Flores. And it's Lennon to return it. And the change is on the way for St. Pat's. Mason Melia is on the way, and it is Mark Doyle who he replaces. Doyle unable to continue. So the 16-year-old Mason Melia came through at Newtown Juniors before moving on to Joey's and Bray, and in last year to Pats. He has played 15s, 17s, 90s and senior. Broken a whole host of records this year in terms of the youngest appearance maker, the youngest goal scorer. And he is on here, and early in the second half as well, for his 13th senior appearance, 3 goals already, and that 3-year professional contract signed this week.
Brilliant to see, honestly.
Flores, oh, brilliant ball, Afolabi's in! Looking for that bottom corner. It came off Joe Redmond and behind.
Yeah, you see Flores' influence growing. Brilliant take on the move here with his left foot, and he slips it. I think if it's the other way around where he's flicking it onto Afolabi on his left foot, I think he just takes a touch and swings on it. He has a little hesitation. The hesitation allows Redmond to get a block on it. You see Redmond's just free here to go and attack the set pieces.
It's gone beyond him, and around the back is Grant, who's left it in play. A little bit harum-scarum there for Pats, but in the end over the crossbar.
There's a couple of ricochets. Kukovic ends up flicking a right leg at it, but he ends up kicking her up over the bar. See, it comes off Forrester here, and then when he knocks it back in, it's actually a chance. It's a chance, Des, if he can move his feet a little bit, but he probably just doesn't get a chance to actually do that, move his feet and get a left foot on it. He just throws his right leg at it.
A cup final that Bohemians led early. An early second half, they now find themselves behind. Good hold-up play from Carty. Melia makes that move on the inside, so loads of space here for Anto Breslin. Look to cross it on the run. Had the option to feed in Levy down the line.
He just needed to slow down a half a yard because Levy's run is brilliant as well. Melia makes a great run on the inside, and it drags Kukovic with him, and that frees up Breslin to come onto the ball, but he has actually a lot more time there just to settle himself and put a decent delivery in or connect with Levy.
John Daly, I'm sure, will be much happier with the opening 15-odd minutes of this second half. Even taking the goal out of it, they've not been troubled as much by Connolly and Grant in the wide areas for Bohs. Here's Kukulovic though, Afolabi. And now there is that opportunity, cutting back on the inside for Danny Grant. Curtis again. It's his body in line. Here's Paddy Kirk. Grant. Deflection on that, and the race to prevent the corner. And Linus gets there.
It's better from Bohs because they've walked it through. They've walked it through the thirds. It's come out to the right-hand side. It goes into Afolabi. Afolabi flicks it out to Grant. I think Paddy Kirk needs to read it a little bit earlier and be on the move earlier. And that overlap will then stop Curtis being able to step towards him and get a block on the shot. But Kirk needs to read, look, it's coming out this direction. Mulroney doesn't want to run back. I'm going to overlap now, and we might get a 2v1.
Super hurler there from Carty to work it out to Mulroney. Ian Byrne will let it run dead. Those were rock solid defensively on their run to this cup final. Just the 1 goal conceded, and that was a penalty from Ryan Brennan. It's Novak's own goal here, which has them chasing the game now. Big switch looking for Kukulovic. Clark, Lennon at full stretch, got a toe to it, but it's Connolly now backing his pace against Breslin to win another Bohemians corner.
Again, Flores is just starting to have an influence on the game. You can see all the experience he has. He just picks it up and flicks a lovely ball out to Kukovic. He heads it down and Clark's away. Lennon makes a good tackle. Clark's very evasive, stays on his feet, and Connolly gets at them. But they're getting set pieces. But you see, Redmond's free, he doesn't mark anybody, so his job is just to go and attack down the middle of the goal. Can someone from Bohs just put a block on him and stop it?
Going with the option of the Flores in swinger. Crisp delivery, the flick from Afolabi. Well, hoping to find the bottom corner, or maybe Danny Grant ghosting in behind to get on the end of it.
That's a better delivery. You see, Afolabi starts on the inside the 6 and just pulls out. He gets ahead on it, but they're probably all thinking they're coming out of the box to try and regain it, and nobody's running after the flick on.
And that's what he was looking for, that movement in behind Declan Devine. He came in this season, rebuilt Bohemians back to front. He lost an entire defence, had to build that from scratch. Great start to the season, fueled hopes of a positive campaign. It's just the way it's ended that's put this extra bit on this cup final now. You know how important European football is for all of the League of Ireland clubs.
They decided to go full-time this year as well, that they train and you can hold on to their players a little bit more because they're full-time. They're given longer-term contracts. Pat Fenton's come in and put a bit of a structure on the club in terms of their recruitment as well. He brought in a couple of lads that he would have known from his time in Scotland. But they're on the break here.
Short. Kukulevich has taken it brilliantly, then overran it, but it will break here for Afolabi. Angle of the penalty area, faced up by Norman. Still going Afolabi. Pat scrambling effectively. Worked on by Kukulevich, and then Clark, and now Grant. Back towards Clark. Afolabi! Oh, they had to be patient in the end and work that opening, Bohemians. Went for power, just sacrificed a little bit of accuracy as a result, Afolabi.
He's worked it really well here, and Grant makes a brilliant decision just to cut it back. But he's gone, you're right, he's just gone for power. Where you know he's wrapping his left foot around that, he has to hit the side netting with it from that distance. He just has to get it on target. Maybe because he's going through bodies, he thinks he has to hit it as hard as he can. He probably doesn't. Probably just needs to put side foot on it, accuracy, and then the power will follow after it. But he goes for it. Forrester, looks like it's Chris Forrester down getting treatment as well, Des.
And that is definitely problematic from a St. Pat's point of view.
That's a massive chance for Afolabi as well. It'll be one he would have dreamt of as well, coming around on his left foot.
Well, you're thinking about little tactical tweaks, perhaps. You're thinking about who you've got on the bench. Hoping another chance or two will fall that man's way.
I think it will. I think he gets another chance in the game. I think there's a long way to go.
It's been a long, hard, physically punishing season for these two sides, but I hope that adrenaline of the cup final will just carry them through whatever niggles they've come into this game with. And you'd imagine at the end of the season most players aren't 100% fit. They're carrying something or other.
It's worth it, Des. It's worth it. It's worth getting through whatever you need to get through to make sure that you're lifting that trophy at the end of the game. That's what it's all about. Scars heal.
You've been in that position behind in a cup final, and you've just got to find that inner resilience and that willingness and that desire.
It's a drive that you're just going to drive your team forward. I see it with Flores actually since he's gone into centre midfield. He goes and wins that header. You can see he's just trying to drive his team forward to give them chances and a platform to go in the game. You just got to keep going. A chance to fall. They get confidence from the chance that they just got off Afolabi and know that there's another one coming. And Bohs are in the ascendancy in the last 5 minutes.
Connolly's had a big game for Bohs today. Here is Clark. Norman came with them. And then quickly back into position alongside Redmond. MacDonald advancing. And MacDonald will have a go. And caught it well out of MacDonald.
Pat's just back off him a little bit, and it's Keane Levy just sort of ends up stepping towards him. Nearly just stands. But it's always going away because he slices across it. It's always just fading off to the left.
He scored a cracker in the home loss to Pats at Delymount earlier in the season. Adam MacDonald able to find another there. Heading towards the final quarter. Pats by the odd goal in 3. Redmond's header. Breslin gets there just ahead of Connolly. And we're hearing Chris Forrester will not be continuing. He's soon to be taken off. And Adam Murphy will be coming on in his place.
Looking down at the bench here, Des, he put his jumper back on. I think they're trying to give Forrester every chance they can. You know how vital he is and his experience.
And if it were to go to a penalty shootout, we say if. He might have had his effort saved by Talbot in 2021, but he's perfect, 100%, 6 out of 6 from the spot this season, Forrester. That's a debate for another time, though. Here goes Connolly. Norman steps out to meet it, and he'll go again, David Norman. Only one man ahead of him, Carty. Looks to roll away from Novak. Race here with Paddy Kirk. Bohs man the winner and earns the free kick.
Norman does well. Originally, he drives out, he wins the first one, and then he drives out. I actually think he should play Mason Melia instead of going into Carty. Give Melia a run, but there's a few lads going down with cramp here.
And Forrester needing further attention. Mulroney's down as well. We're also going to see Ali Coote thrust into the action for Bohemians. Part of that side 2 years ago, part of that attacking forward that had Georgie Kelly, 26 goals at the top of it, at Liam Burt on one side, Ross Tierney in the middle. He's done well in front of goal this season, Ali Coote, and they'll be hoping that he'll have a chance to add to his 8 goals.
He's a man for a goal as well. I think he started the season so well and he just dipped in the form in the middle of the season, but he's come back into the goals in the last couple of months, and obviously Bohs need a goal now more than ever.
And the return of Danny Grant just meant Ali Coote found himself falling out of the starting 11.
So the form of James Clark as well, probably because Ali was playing in off the front there.
So it is Danny Grant to go. He had a big first half, Danny Grant, but haven't seen as much of him in the second.
Full credit to Sam Curtis as well, because we took the lads touched on it at half-time. He was getting a lot of 1v1s with Curtis. He didn't get as many in the second half. Maybe Mulroney, I think Mulroney looks like he might be going off here with cramp as well. Maybe he's done a little bit more work in the second half to stop the supply. But Forrester's going off too.
And we're also going to see Jason McClelland come in. And he is replacing Jake Mulroney, who we just saw struggling with a little bit of cramp a few moments ago. Well, his deliveries, set pieces and open play have been a huge feature in this game and a huge factor in the goals that St. Patrick's Athletic have scored. McClelland, one of the scorers, and in style from the spot 2 years ago, is on in his place.
Yeah, his contribution to the game, you just rewind it back to the 2 set-piece deliveries. He's had other moments where he's put some good crosses in, but he'll be remembered for them 2 crosses ultimately that led to the 2 goals for St. Pat's.
Good work from Paddy Kirk. Here is Afolabi out to that left-hand side. McDonnell, oh, he's offside. So a flurry of substitutions. Let's see how both sides bed into that now. But in Adam Murphy coming in, he arrived at Pats during the pandemic. Stevie O'Donnell had him training with the first team as a 15-year-old. Massive strides again this season.
Probably would have played a lot more games. He picked up a bad hamstring injury after he first broke in. Another player really comfortable on the ball, glides over the ground, covers great distances. He'll play in beside Lennon, but he'll also be the one that maybe goes and supports them when they need to be that extra man. But another fantastic young player coming through, and again, brilliant to see him play in a cup final as well.
Well, how often have we seen big games won and lost off the bench? Let's see what impact these substitutes can make now in the 20 minutes or so that remain. Levy back to Redmond. Now he looks towards Carty. Cian Byrne established his position early there. Here is Coote, who's fond memories of this stadium, a brace of goals in the European qualifier here against Pauk a couple of years ago. Now Flores, out to Coote. Afolabi looks to time his run ahead of him. Ali Coote sets up the crossing opportunity for Paddy Kerr. Linus backpedaling furiously. Couldn't hold it initially, but no pressure there. Grabs it at the second attempt.
Yeah, he does well, in fairness to get it. It's not probably the best of crosses. It doesn't look like a cross you're going to score from. Maybe a knockback down from Conley. But Linus does well, but you see what Murphy does. He's over helping Sam Curtis in the 2v1, and Kirk is overlapping around him, but it's Adam Murphy on that side that will also help Curtis.
Redmond rolls it into midfield. Here's Lennon. And Cian Byrne has gone down off the ball here. He's just back to his feet now and try and get back in position. Levy. Let's take advantage of that. No, they can't. Cross charge down. Breslin. Amelia. Positive anticipation from the Pats fans as he gets on it for the first time. Levy again. Little injection of pace, and there's the cross. Clark does well against Lennon. There's McClellan coming in off that right-hand side, trying to get in on the end of the delivery.
It's brilliant from Levy. He just stands him up in a 1v1 situation and he goes at him. The second check is great. He fires one across. It was Keane Bourne, was it, that comes across and gets the clearance on it? He does really well, because McClellan is coming around it with his left foot. He's probably going to hit the target. It's a good defending in the end from Bohemians.
Taken in with a lovely delicate touch by Clark. Again, he looks to work off Afolabi. Norman's gone right through the back of him there. And here's an opportunity maybe for Jordan Flores. And Kukulovic heading forward as well, two set-piece specialists.
Yeah, that's not a tackle you can make in this day and age. You can't come through him. You can't come through him to even make the ball.
And Joe Redmond, just away from the action, has had a word there with his centre-back partner. It was a rash challenge from David Norman. The left foot of Flores maybe here. Kukulovic and Coote make it 3 around the ball. Is this the moment for Bohemians? Chance to take it to 2-2. It's a fair distance out.
About 30 yards there. This is when you do the lines on the pitch. And the 18 to the edge of the D, and then another. Yeah.
Flores, you would think, his favourite. Linus crouching, waiting for this delivery. Here it comes! Oh! Off the post, Jordan Flores. What a delivery.
It's a brilliant effort, in fairness. He sets it out a good bit and it's coming around. It's just not coming around as much as he'd like. That's an unbelievable effort. It really is. He just steps up the distance. I thought it might have been a bit too much for him. I think Linus, I'm not sure if he's getting it, if it's just a yard inside it. Flores with his head in his hands, he knows.
Well done, Doc. Drogheda, Cork have all suffered at the feet, the left foot of Jordan Flores. Some free kicks this season. Confirmation there was a yellow card, not surprisingly, for David Norman for that challenge on Afolabi.
Yeah,
more changes on the way as well for St. Pat's.
This day and age, it's not a challenge you can make, and now he has to be careful.
Bohs driving on again. Did a tough start to the second half, but they've reacted well as they chase this leveller.
You see McClellan is doing unbelievable work, tracking back with Kirk there.
Well, Conor Carty has given it his all. Tommy Lonergan is coming on. And we're also going to see young Adam Nolan, who arrived in from UCD this season. So fresh legs, youthful legs on here. Ian Levy, the second man called ashore. So that's 5 changes made by John Daly. Looks like Mealy will stay on the left, Lonergan through the middle.
I think McClellan will come in and play off the front, and Alex Nolan will go over to the right-hand side. You see McClellan just making his way into the centre of the pitch, and Nolan running past him to work off the right-hand side.
Linus towards Lonergan, who's looking to get involved straight away. Big season out at UCD last season. Tommy Lonergan, 12 goals, 5 of them in the FAI Cup. He was the match winner for Pats up in Finn Park. Laid on against the Finn Harps and the run to this final. Looking to pressurise Kukulovic. Flores, that cultured left foot of his, eases it out to Paddy Kirk, who had some ground to attack there. Nolan working hard to get goal side, and will do so again here. Well, whether it's through players suffering from fatigue or John Daly just keen to have as many fresh players out there as he can for this final push to see it through.
It's a tough one with the Levy one. I can understand the other substitutions. I think the Levy one would have been the one he probably agonised over.
Ali Coote into the penalty area. We'll look to set one up. Clark had to reach for it, and the sting taken out of his effort in the end.
Yeah, I think Clark wanted to set probably a half a second earlier. You see it probably now he wanted it, and then it just runs away from him, and he's never set to really hit it then. Probably needs to reset and play Connolly on the right-hand side. but because the pass is behind him, very hard to generate power off that. I think the Levy one again, he's been excellent in the second half. He came out with a real spirit and a real endeavour about him to get on the ball. He won the ball back. Even when in transitions he was onto it, got them playing. Wins the free kick for the goal again. I think that's the one he probably would have agonised, but he hasn't played a lot of minutes this year, Des.
Looking at the clock, 12.5 minutes of the 90, plus whatever Paul McLaughlin will opt to add on. Bohs will be hoping at the moment that that's plenty. For Kulovitz, it's not a great ball on the inside. Here goes Murphy. Like we said, another player who can just carry them forward when the opportunity is there. Adam Murphy.
You look at the young players they have on the pitch now. Lonergan, Melia, Murphy, Curtis. These lads are going to run. And when you put that with the experience, I know Joe Redmond isn't that much older than them, but the experience of Joe Redmond, the experience of Lennon, Linus in goal, if they can just harness that energy and make sure it's working in the right way, you can see this game out just by their energy and their enthusiasm.
Good work by Lonergan. Here goes McClellan. He was always on the wrong side there, Ali Coot. From a free kick opportunity at one end, one at the other now. And the debate will start over who gets to take this. Lonergan certainly wants it. McClellan there as well.
Yeah, he just gets the touch in ahead of him, and Coote just comes through the back. It's the left arm really, probably the contact that leads to the free kick. Again, it's a good distance out, probably similar to the distance that Flores hits it.
Placed by McClellan's. Lonergan standing over it as well. Goal now might well put it beyond Bohemians. It is McClellan who drills it straight into the wall. Back out to Murphy. Nolan. Oh, deflected behind. Could have gone anywhere, that one.
That's what you're saying in them wide positions. And again, he chops and he does brilliantly well to chop it and then just fire it across the goal and see what happens. It will lead to uncertainty, and that's what's happened. Goes through the legs of Bourne and out for a set piece.
They're going to take their time over this one, not surprisingly. St. Pat's. Norman forward, Redmond forward. Curtis in there as well. Some obvious threats. They'll look for a good delivery. It was a good delivery as well. Novak did brilliantly against Joe Redmond. This delivery goes deeper. Brilliant take from Redmond. Needs some support now. Uses the decoy run of Nolan. Jamie Lennon. Cup final day, tanks one goalwards, comes off the back of Adam MacDonald. Nolan has taken out of that by Paddy Kirk. Nolan again works the give and go with Melia. Faced up by MacDonald, still Nolan. Again and again, lifts his cross to the back post. Oh, Flores under pressure. Manages to get it away.
It was Coote, I think, in the end, as he does brilliantly well, but brilliant from Nolan as well. He chops him 3 times, and his delivery is actually really good. It's a clever little dink to the back post, probably in the position that he would normally be taken up. But he's done unbelievable work on the left-hand side, but just knowing to finish it off.
Well, is there a huge 10 minutes in Bohemians here? Still some attacking options on the bench. Dean Williams, who's had an awful season with a bad ankle injury, limiting his opportunities. James Akintunde, injury issues as well. Declan McDade, there are options. Chris Twardek. Declan Devine happy for now to put his faith in those who are out there.
I just think, not so much a change, but they need to play with quicker tempo. You see Jordan Flores and Keane Bourne, they're putting their foot in the ball. Get it, move it quicker. Limit your touches, step in and play forward, drive the game, take the game to Pats. What have they got to lose?
Is it a case of that sinking feeling? They're watching the clock, they're watching the game, the Bohs fans. The noise you can hear is from the Pat supporters, mostly behind the goal away to our left-hand side. They are close, they are within touching distance, but not quite there yet. Byrne wins the header, hooked away by Paddy Kirk. Breslin up against Connolly. Here is McDonald. Flores. Kirk tips it into Afolabi, trusting that he'll hold it, which he does, and then brings Kukulevitz into play. Here's Connolly. Clark. And as soon as he saw the pass being played, Breslin was on his bike, getting that head start.
But again, you've clipped it into Afolabi and it's got them up the pitch. It's taken away the midfield press from St. Pat's. It's just gone over them. And then all of a sudden they're up and they're down into the wide areas. They need to get into Afolabi as much as they can, but not just lumping it. Quality into him and allow them to play off him.
Lonergan almost picked the pocket of Adam McDonald, who's a little slow to get back to his feet. Novak. McDonald. Well, coming on the inside, here's Ali Kout. Shadowed by Adam Murphy, who doesn't give him an inch. And Bohs fans doing their best to get a big last push out of their side here to find that goal to take it to extra time. Clark. Murphy touch tight. Still going, James Clark. Here comes the cross. Linus with eyes on it. And safe hands. And Linus now just use all of that experience that he's gained through life in England and in Scotland. And now launches it, asking Lonergan to battle for it, headed away by Novak. Awkward one for Redmond, got as much distance as he could. Helped on by Lennon. And turned by McClelland. Lonergan, that's fans feeling he was bundled over there by Novak, but on we go, Connolly. 50-50 battle, says Paul McLaughlin. Then Melia bumped off it off the ball. And the referee will go back to that one, the foul by Kukulevitz.
Substitution for Bohemians, number 7.
John O'Sullivan, whose role mostly this season has been coming off the bench. He's going to replace Adam McDonald. O'Sullivan, who was part of a brilliant Ireland under-19 side under Paul Doolan a decade ago and more. Can he have an effect here? Lonergan. Excellent hold-up play from the teenager, now McClelland. Time on the side of St. Pat's. Bohemians have to be careful in everything they do. Melia, the check back, felt he was caught by the scrambling Novak. End result is a goal kick.
Probably feels he should have got one there, but look, it's just a coming together.
Paddy Kirk looking to be direct and quick. O'Sullivan into the feet of Afolabi. Running off him was Clark. Pats shut the door. Lennon and Norman together. And away by Anto Breslin. He'll be feeling a whole lot happier about life now, Anto Breslin, having conceded that early penalty to see his side thunder back into the game and lead into the late stages here. Curtis feeds one for Nolan, who's gone too early offside. Now, where is this Bohs goal going to come from? Byrne into midfield, where Pats look to apply the pressure again. Lonergan might be in here, he is! This to seal it for St. Pat's, Lonergan! Well, the cup is bound for Inchicore. What a finish from 19-year-old Tommy Lonergan. Ecstasy at the Aviva, and at the end, that has the St. Pat's supporters behind that goal. What a moment to win it, and then to hit it first time with such accuracy, such precision. Well, that's how you make your impact. Tommy Lonergan, what a moment.
And that's it, game, set, and match for St. Pat's, and for that man, John Daly. Unbelievable goal. He just snatches onto a really poor mistake from John O'Sullivan. He clips it back to Flores. Flores is trying to play, takes it on his chest, and Lonergan just comes in and bundles him away. He just takes the shot on his left foot. Talbot gets a hand to it, but it's right in. We see it from this angle. It just comes across, bundles him off it, and then wraps his foot round it. Again, Talbot's out of position because he's set to play, but unbelievable from Tommy Lonergan. What a moment that he can just relax now and celebrate in front of them Pats fans and the joy and jubilation.
Well,
Go back to Jacob.
Talbot got fingertips to it, but it wasn't enough. An arcing, bending effort from Tommy Lonergan. A goal cheered to the echo at the Aviva, out in Dunboyne at Cherry Orchard. But a player who has come through the 15s and upwards. He won a 15s league title with Pats in his debut season, on up through the ages. That brilliant year at UCD last season with a dozen goals just gave him that appetite to come in and fight for his place as a Premier Division player.
And he was that size when he was 12. I remember coming through the DDSL Emerging Talent Programme, and he was a beast. And they're the type of ones that he just latches onto. You can see his power and his pace, and he's just going to get through on goal. What he's brought to his game probably is the composure to finish. And he just opens it up and wraps it down the side. Like I said, Talbot is out of position, but it's brilliant. But it's that man there, number 6, Jamie Lennon, for me, who's been absolutely excellent, and I'd give him man of the match today. Both these midfielders in front of him have gone off, Forrester, Levy, and he's allowed Murphy to come on, he's allowed McClellan to come on, and he's given Pat such a platform today. He's nullified Clark, he's stopped service into Afolabi, and he's been you said he's an unsung hero. He's a hero today because he's been fantastic.
Not unsung today, they'll be singing his name from the rafters. Jamie Lennon. Sports Direct man of the match is chosen by Graham Gartland. Offside flag up here against Alex Nolan. Well, for Bohemians, ultimately it looks like a season that has promised so much, but just unravelled late on. 6th place finish ultimately in the league, and barring something miraculous in the minute plus added time here, it will again be defeat in the cup final. Hard to take. So good in the first half, the better side in the first half, but Pats came out with a renewed vigour, a renewed intensity, a renewed tempo in the second half, and got the goals when they needed them.
Yeah, and then you go back to that Afolabi chance where he's just trying to bend it and he goes for power, and it's a massive moment because that brings it back to 2-2. And actually Bohs are in the ascendancy there. They were probably had a really good spell for about 10 minutes, and you could sense they were pushing. Pat's made a couple of substitutions that got their energy and their enthusiasm back. I throw Murphy into that, I throw Mealy into that, I throw Lonergan into that, and the experience of Lennon, Linus, Redmond behind them. But Bohs just probably haven't done enough.
7 minutes at least to be added on. And that gives some heart to the Bohs supporters, but they need 2 goals in that 7 minutes. Going direct now for Afolabi, flicks it on to Connolly. To get bodies in the box here. Connolly sets it for Kukulevitz. He got his head up and then he was quickly closed down. No chance to swing the cross in. Melia doing his defensive bit. Here is Connolly again. Inside to Clark. They need a moment, Bohemians. Lennon there again with the tackle. Boundless energy, reading the danger, getting himself in those right positions.
I do feel at 2-1 that Bohs probably should have went a little bit more direct. It's a cup final. I know you want to play, I get that. But again, go into Afolabi. You've the best striker in the division in terms of holding the play up.
And off they go again. Adam Nolan. And Flores, who's on one leg at the moment over there. That's out for a Pats throw-in and a chance to eat up the clock here.
By the way, Sam Curtis has been excellent as well. He just missed out on man of the match. I thought he was brilliant. He was up against it with Grant in the first half. He managed it well. Grant gets taken off in the second half. Coote has come on that side, who is equally tricky, and he's handled him as well. Coote hasn't had an impact in the game at all. Curtis has been brilliant. For a 17-year-old to put in a performance like that in a cup final, it deserves special mention as well.
Oh, what a noise being made by the Pats supporters at the Aviva now. Every decision that goes their way, the noise peeling down from the stands. It's a frustrated Bohemians as they sense maybe their fate is sealed here. And for St. Pat's, they've, as we said earlier, so much anguish, so many tough days in FAI Cup finals. And these last two have been big. In 2014, first win since 61. And you just remember the emotion that came with the final whistle then. And 2 years ago, to win it again in that penalty shootout, down at the goal where Lonergan has probably secured it for them again. Redmond's up and over Afolabi. Here goes Ali Coop. Redmond gets there again.
And with the young players they have on the pitch and the young players they have coming through, you'd hope that it's going to last with them. The last time they won the FAI Cup, Stevie O'Donnell walks out on the Monday and takes the Dundalk job. I can't see John Daly doing that.
Lovely ball from Connolly. Afolabi. And too many bodies, couldn't get his shot away. Here's Clark. Curtis doesn't jump in, still with Clark, sets it. Paddy Kurt needs a good cross, little deflection on that one, away by Redmond. And Curtis, calm as you like, gives it to Nolan and says off you go. And on he charges Alex Nolan, looking for options now. Fabulous ball out to the left hand side, and Melia. Is there a cherry on top moment here? Mason Melia trying to drive through the gap and still going, but halted by the whistle.
Again, this is where John Daly's been clever with his substitutions.
Adam Murphy in there trying to protect his teammate. Melia was a bit of a sportsmanship lying on the ball, but then he was manhandled and dragged away. In the end, it's a yellow card for Kukulevitz.
Melia's trying to be clever, obviously, and hold up the play, but again,
the managers, Graham, will look back on big moments in this game. I just wonder that the James McManus situation, was that telling?
Yeah, I think but I also feel that when Flores went in, he actually got them playing a little bit, and they get that chance as Flores hits the post from the free kick. He's influential in the chance that comes up for Afolabi. They have another shot that I think McDonald has a shot that goes wide. So Flores actually got them playing when he went into midfield. I think the substitutions that, like John Daly throws on 3 kids in a cup final, and they all bring energy to the game where they're all willing to run. Adam Murphy, been brilliant since he came on. Alex Nolan, been unbelievable since he came on. Melia, Lonergan, they've all impacted the game, but they've all done it off the base of what Redmond and Lennon, you see Lennon again, has given them. Breslin as well. They've been excellent in terms of the spine of their team, and these players that have come on and brought energy to the game, they've ultimately got Pats the cup win.
Well, we heard from both managers, Declan Devine and John Daly, ahead of the game, talking to Peter in the panel below, and both were asked about the youth in their teams, and they said, look, these young guys are different these days. They don't feel the pressure. They want to go out and show what they've got. They want to play. There's underage internationals littered around this pitch at the moment, and well, there's a few heading off with the under-19s. Tom Mowen's under-19s tomorrow. We wish them well, and with Jim Crawford's under-21s, big games coming up as well. We wish them well too. You can catch those games with us here on RTE. So for some, there mightn't be much time to celebrate a cup win or to drown your sorrows.
Some are a bit too young to celebrate it as well. That's the scary bit. But again, it bodes well, because the pressure of playing for Ireland under 21s isn't going to be bigger than what they played in today. So they can go out and know that we're able to perform at this level. Not only are we able to perform, we're able to succeed, and we can do it constantly. And whatever challenge you put in front of us, we're going to take it on. And it's brilliant to see. In fairness, full credit to Bohs. They brought a massive crowd here. They've been brilliant for the front runners for a lot at the start of the season. They've been excellent. They've been unlucky coming into the final. They lose Keith Buckley as well, who'd be influential for them. They started the game unbelievably well, but I just don't think they've used Afolabi as well as they should have.
Well, think back to 13 games into the league season. That loss to Sligo Rovers, and then the decision to make a managerial change. Pats didn't look in a great position then. Look how the season is ending for them. They were in the running to finish second, ended up third in the league, which guaranteed Europe coming into this. That took that pressure away. And they have come back from a pretty torrid start to the game. The concession of that early penalty converted by Afolabi. And a big second half reaction has ultimately got them the win here.
Look,
the young guns have done good.
the young ones have done good, and they've won every game away from home as well. Road Warriors, you go and win here again, and they're the first team to probably do it. I know Dundalk missed out on it in 2019, but Pats have actually done it. Full credit to John Daly, unbelievable job since he's come in.
All eyes on the referee now. Whistle goes to the lips, it's all over. And St. Pat's reclaim the FAI Cup for the 5th time in their history. For the 2nd time in 3 years. It is joy unconfined for the men from Inchicore. And for their manager, John Daly, that unshakable inner belief that he has, the belief that he infused into this talented young squad, has borne the ultimate reward.
Yeah, brilliant for him. I'm delighted for John Daly, someone I would have grown up with playing against, and I'm delighted for him, and I know his father would have been proud of him, John's are, and it's brilliant for them, and it's brilliant for Pats and Inchicore, and they've really bought into their community, and you can see how much it means to the players, and it's a fantastic achievement for him with such young players in the squad, and it's brilliant to see. Commiserations to Bohs. There has to be a loser on the day. He's done brilliantly well to get here. It's the 4th season going full time, but the day belongs to St. Pat's and Inchicore.
And for Joe Redmond, as John Daly embraces with his family, I'm guessing that is, but we've got Joe Redmond, who was behind that goal 2 years ago. He is down there leading the celebrations now. Captain fantastic for them this season. They lost him for 18 games for 4 months during the campaign, a man who played every minute last year. But he came back, I think it was in that FAI Cup win at Longford, and he has led them from the front again. A huge display from him. It's crushing for Christian Novak in particular. The man pressurised by Redmond ended up putting the ball into his own net. That was the 2-1 goal, and then, well, a moment of magic from Tommy Lonergan to make it 3-1 and secure the win. We may have seen the likes of Sam Curtis, we don't know, of Adam Murphy, we don't know. Huge futures ahead of them, but as we said, the production line is strong, and now I'm sure they'll be looking ahead to next season and maybe a chance to have a real tilt at the league title as well.
Again, it's something to build on for John Daly. We touched on it last year. They never got a chance to build because Stevie O'Donnell walks out on the Monday after he won the cup, so I don't think John's going to do that this time. I think he wants to stay at the club and build. I think he lives in Dundalk with his mother, and it's brilliant, and that's his 2 girls that are over from Scotland. His wife Linda still lives over there, so he has a lot of commitment for the club, and I think it means a lot to him as well.
It is St. Pat's Day. FAI Cup winners, they've beaten Bohemians by 3 goals to 1. We'll take a quick break and continue our reaction and bring you the trophy lift when we return.
Well, there are great scenes around the Aviva Stadium now as St Patrick's Athletics celebrate winning the FAI Cup for the 5th time in their history. Remember, there was a 53-year gap before they won it again in 2014. Then, of course, in 2021, 2 years ago, and they're back on the top step once again. And I'm not too sure if that guy's going to be at work tomorrow. He'll be enjoying the celebrations as well. The player of the match is Jamie Lennon, and we're going to hear from him now. He's with Tony.
Yes, Jamie Lennon is the Sports Direct player of the match, and Ciara Murray, the marketing person from Sports Direct, is here to present Jamie with a well-deserved reward. Congratulations. How does it feel?
Oh, unbelievable. To come back here after 2 years ago, to do it all again, I mean, you know, you never know when's your last time to be back here. We are lucky enough to be here twice in 3 years, and to do it in 90 minutes like that, unbelievable.
You've set records today with the crowd. Also, to have to go behind so early in the game, that showed great character.
Yeah, it was disappointing to go behind so early, but to be fair, we've came back from that a couple of times this season. We didn't really panic was the main thing. We talked about at half-time, about staying calm. I think we controlled the crowd after that goal went in, and we took it from there. I thought the start of the second half, then we just tore them asunder, and yeah, thankfully we just got there in the end.
I was going to ask you what was said at half-time, because it was a different approach almost in the second half.
Yeah, well, we talked about the importance of set pieces. Shonny and the gaffer do a lot of work on them during the weekend. You know, we practiced them a lot on Thursdays or the day before a game. We've done a lot of work on them yesterday, and two of them paid off today. So we talked about how important they were going to be in the second half, and they were. And then we just caught Bohs, I think, towards the end there, and thank God.
What does it mean to you and to the St. Pat's fans here tonight? Because it is an extraordinary atmosphere.
Unbelievable, honestly. Never seen anything like it. Obviously, it was very loud 2 years ago, but I can't believe the atmosphere here tonight. And these fans have been with us through thick and thin all year, home and away. They never let us down, and to show up in their numbers again after 2 years, we're just so glad we can give them something to celebrate now after this.
Well done, Jamie.
Thanks very much, Tommy. Thanks.
Well, Jamie Lennon, a worthy recipient of the man of the match. He's been around that club a long time. As you said, still young, but plenty of games under his belt. Jamie Lennon, what a performance he put in today. For Bohemians, they've gone up to collect the runners-up medals. Not the way they envisioned this game ending, but now these are the moments that St. Pat's players would have dreamed of. They came here, I think it was on Monday, to get their bearings at the stadium. They stayed in the hotel last night, had the quiz night they usually have. And John Daly says he dominates the music round. I'm not quite sure how old the music tracks are, but maybe more so than the young lads. But this is magical for the likes of Tommy Lonergan to win a cup at 19, but to score in a cup final as well. Mark Doyle went off injured, but got that crucial equalising goal as well.
Yeah, massive goal for them. It goes back down to Mulroney's deliveries. They're on the money into an area where it's really tough for the keeper. The lads touched on it at half-time. The keeper wants to maybe come and take everybody out and try and get a punch on it. That's the only way, because I don't think he's actually coming to catch that one. But it's a massive goal, considering that he's just gone down. It gives them a level keel in the game. They can ease themselves into it. I actually thought they came out at half-time much the better side, and for the first 15 minutes of that, they were excellent.
John Daly's first FAI Cup final, and he will remember this for the rest of his life, I'm sure. What a job he has done. And for Chris Forrester, well, it's history made, a third FAI Cup win. We're going to see Joe Redmond going up to get his hands on that trophy soon. He's been a Pat supporter since he was 13. I had a good chat with him during the week. Joe, he said when he was away at Birmingham, he'd come back in his off-season and spend that off-season going watching Pat's matches wherever they were playing. So you could see the outpour of emotion at the final whistle from the Pat's captain, and how much it meant to him personally and to the club as a whole.
I think he's bought into the club, and the club have bought into him, and you can see what it means to him and the fans that they have somebody who has supported the club, who does go on and play for them. And you know, when these kids do come back from their clubs, they need somewhere that feels like home for them to reignite their career, and that's what Joe Redmond has.
Well, this is it. They're waiting patiently. It's right there behind them. Here comes Joe Redmond, St. Pat's, 1959, 1961, 2014, 2021. And now the presentation to the 2023 FAI Cup winners. It's St. Patrick's Athletic.
Your 2023 St. Patrick's.
2023 confetti's flying. There's some landing on us up here as well.
We're part of it,
This party will go on for a long, long time. Inchicore is the place to be tonight. We'll take a break and continue with these celebrations when we return.
So St Patrick's Athletic are the 2023 FAI Cup winners, and we can now hear from the St Pat's boss, John Daly. He's about to talk to Tony.
John, congratulations. Relief etched on your face, but you know, you won this competition fair and square. You've got a St Pat's scarf just thrown at you as well for good measure. How does it feel?
No, I'm obviously delighted for the boys, looking over at them there celebrating. They put a lot of effort into the 2 years of being here, not just this season. And no, I'm thrilled. I'm delighted for them, delighted for my family. I've obviously had to put up a lot of stick, me living away from home, so absolutely thrilled and over the moon. I really, you know, it's hard to put into words. It's a fantastic feeling. You know, commiserations to Bohs. I thought they played well on the day, and you know, we were obviously a lick of pain from going 2-2, and then Tommy obviously puts away to make it 3-1, and you could see they were just deflated after that, and it was probably done and dusted at that stage.
The importance of set pieces, though. I mean, Jake Mulroney was so important to 2 of the goals.
Yeah, well, we spoke about that. Graham Kelly, one of the girls he used to work with at Dealer Waves on the pro licence, has done a study this year about the Premier Division and set plays, and we've scored the most set plays. We've been the best defensively, most efficient at set plays, and I told the lads that it's going to be a massive part. Theirs was a penalty, 2 free kicks from ourselves, and then obviously a mistake that Tommy punishes. So set plays are huge. I think we've gained the most points this year from set plays as well, so I don't mind that. It's part of the game, and if it's something you're going to be good at, then I'll take that all day long.
How brave was it of you as well to put your faith in youth? Obviously, when we see Lonergan scoring, Melia, Murphy, Nolan, you know, that's an extraordinary faith by you in those young men.
They're good enough, and I'm not just saying that blasé, I genuinely mean it. They're good enough players, and when you're good enough, you get opportunities. And for me, I was very fortunate to get an opportunity as a young player, and it's great to be able to repay that to young players, give them opportunity to play first team football, playing an occasion like this, record attendance. You know, delighted for the fans, unbelievable, turned out in massive numbers this year. You know, and it's great for our lads and the fans. Now we're all going to go and enjoy our night.
Well done, John.
Thank you. Thanks very much.
Yeah, congratulations to John.